Our people say Black Lives Matter, but everything they do is against Black lives. Our women are the #1 baby killers with abortion. Our women make up 99% of all aborted babies, but yet Black Lives Matter. Our job, like I said, is not to offend anybody, but at the same time, if something is wrong, it's wrong, right? For example, if I was a thief and I like to steal, right? What would my parents tell me?
Not to steal?
Not to steal, right? But I might get offended, like, Mom, you know what? I like to steal. You know what I mean? This is how I get my money. But she's telling me not to steal. Why?
Because it's not right. Like,
it's not right.
Yeah.
There's consequences for stealing. There's consequences behind it, right? I got another question. Where's that sign at? Where's Black Lives Matters, right? Our people say Black Lives Matter, correct? So, in order for Black lives to matter, wouldn't we have to procreate? So give me in Genesis where it said be fruitful and multiply. I want to show you something real quick, because this is what the Bible says. This isn't our words. This is anything we made up, right? This is what God told us to do.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 22. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply.
So he said be fruitful and multiply. So that means that we're bringing more Black lives into the world, right? How can Black lives come into the world with same-sex marriages? I'm asking a question. Let me Mark chapter 4. Mark chapter 4. Don't worry about that, because this is the thing. Our people don't want to admit I had to admit I was wrong. I had to admit that selling drugs was wrong. I had to admit that fornicating was wrong. I had to admit all of those things, right? But does that change what the Bible actually says? No. So now, again, the question. You got Mark 4? So the question is, how can Black lives continue to be in the world with same-sex marriage? How? No. Our people say Black Lives Matter, but everything they do is against Black lives. Our women are the #1 baby killers with abortion. Right. Our women make up 99% of all aborted babies, but yet Black Lives Matter. Guess who founded Black Lives Matter? Lesbians. How can you be pro-black when you won't even get with another male to procreate?
Bring it out.
There's no way that you can bring Black lives into this world with the same gender. How? How can that happen? Give me Romans chapter 1. You know what I want, right? Romans chapter. This is what's wrong with the Black community. The white man told you that this was okay. The white man told you that it's okay for a man to be with a man, a woman to be with a woman. But God said no. Read that.
Romans chapter 1 and verse 27. And likewise, also, the man leaving the natural use of the woman.
That is what's wrong with our people today. Our people say that they love God, but they will ignore everything that's in this Bible. They don't want to hear what God has to say. They want to hear what our oppressors, our slave masters have taught us years and years and years. There's no way that Black lives can continue to prosper upon this earth if you want to continue to present same-sex marriages. No matter how unpopular our beliefs may be, this is what God said according to the Bible. Read that.
For this cause, God gave them up unto vile affection.
Because we chose not to keep God's commandments, God gave us up to vile affections. Vile affections. What are some of these vile affections that God gave us up to? Read.
For even their women did change the natural use.
It said, for even their women did change the natural use, come on,
into that which is against nature.
It said to that which is against nature. There's a reason why your anatomy parts are the way they are. There's a reason why God made you the way he made you, because one fits into the other. You can't get anything else outside of that. So it said the woman, read that part again.
For this cause God gave them up unto vile affection, for even their women did change the natural use into which is against nature.
To which is against nature. Women being with women is against nature. Men being with men is against the natural order that God had given us. There's no way you can come up here and tell us that Black Lives Matter and you support homosexuality. Read.
And likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman.
Because the men are doing the exact same thing. It said the men leaving the natural use of the woman, come on,
burn in their lust one toward another, men with men, working which is unseemly.
It said working that which is unseemly. But yet our people think that it's okay. God told us that no, this is not right, that this is not okay, that the man is supposed to be with a woman and a woman's supposed to be with a man. But for some reason, we know better than God. We know that God, for some, our people believe, well, God said it's okay. That's not in the Bible. Come on.
Right. And receiving in themselves that recompense of the error which was met.
He said meat. He said they received the recompense which is meat, meaning they received a just judgment. What is that just judgment? AIDS, HIV, gonorrhea, syphilis. Those are the judgments that they received that God said is just because they wanted to be in homosexuality. God is against homosexuality. You blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans should be the same. But no, you continue to listen to your oppressor. The same people that dropped dynamite here on Tulsa 100 years ago. But you say Black Lives Matter. I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me Black Lives Matter when you support same-sex marriages. Don't tell me Black Lives Matter and you support abortion. Because our women make up 99% of all aborted babies. This is what we have to do as a community. It is time that our people wake up. It is time that we actually come back to keeping God's laws. Read that.
Romans chapter 1 verse 27. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust.
Right, burn in their lust. It is a lust that our people go after that is unseemly according to God. But yet this isn't a topic that our people will learn to teach. Our people are afraid to stand up against what God what the Bible actually says. Hold that. Give me Psalms chapter 94. Because God asked a question, and we're going to see who's going to actually stand up and do it. Read that.
Psalms chapter 194 verse 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
The Bible said, who is going to rise up for me against the evildoers? Which one of you men and women are going to stand up justly for God? Despite what the world may say, despite how they may treat you, are you going to be the one to stand up for what is right? Read.
Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
Against the workers of iniquity. Homosexuality, same-sex marriages. These are the things that we have to understand that is against the Bible, against what God commanded us. Come on, is there more on that?
No, sir.
Go back to Romans 1 and finish that up, and I'll bring you up. Romans 1, finish that up.
Romans chapter 1 verse 27. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working together that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge.
And they didn't want to retain God in their knowledge. Our people love to come up here and say that they believe in the Bible, that they know the Bible, that they love God, but yet somehow when a law comes out, nah, I don't want to hear that. I don't believe that. I don't see that says that. That's your interpretation.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is